Hello, everybody, and welcome to 3D Hangouts. I'm here in the heart of the Adafruit factory in New York City, and with me, as always, Noe Pedro Ruiz at Adafruit South. Hey, guys. How you guys doing?
What's up, Matt? Hey, everybody at home. Noe Ruiz here. Joining me is Pedro.
Hey, guys. Pedro Ruiz here, creative tech here at Adafruit, and today we're dressed up as the shelves on the 3D printing shelf.
Yeah, we're elves today. Printing
Yep, elves on the shelf with lots of, you have the instant, North Pole all there on those racks. We get together every week here to share about the latest in 3D printing news, designs from the Adafruit workbench, projects from the community, and all sorts of things to help you make better work, 3D printed work with electronics. So, what are we doing today?
Yeah, so we got some segments for you guys. We're going to start off with 3D news, share about a couple things. We're going to talk about what we're prototyping, so some stuff we're working on. We've got a weekly video for you guys, a layer-by-layer segment where we'll break down some of the CAD techniques that we used in the project. We've got a cool community spotlight for you guys, and a couple other cool things on the show.
Yeah. Today we're going to share about we're going to share a project by Donald Lindsay, who's a maker he's a piper. He plays bagpipes, and he has made 3D printed bagpipes as a project, and they're working pretty well. It's going to be a neat project to share later today. So we're going to jump right into news. So why don't you guys kick it off, because you have the
Sure.
the
Can
latest.
Remind me which piece we.
Yeah. Well, you want to show the unboxing of the TAS 4.
Okay, so the TAS 4. Yay! TAS 4 is like, I don't want to say it's our favorite printer, but oh man, it's becoming one of our favorite printers. And James Bruton from X Robots just got his. So he's been using a TAS 3 for most of his projects, and he was fortunate enough to get an upgrade to the TAS 4. So he'll be using the TAS 4 on all of his new projects. He'll be able to crank out more parts faster for you guys. And that will segue into, I guess, James's update, right?
Yeah, and again, don't forget that the TAS is still on sale, 5% off.
On the shop, we also have some filament for you guys. So James Bruton, if you guys don't know of him, please check him out on YouTube, his channel X Robots. He does weekly videos. And he has like 4 major projects right now. He's using NinjaFlex and ABS to make a alien xenomorph scrap metal inspired full body suit. So in this project, or in this update rather, he is figuring out how to design mechanisms for the head, the neck, so he can mount all these massive pieces. And then here he is wearing it. It's a very terrifying project, but man, is it super awesome.
I love this project.
Yeah.
It's so inspiring.
So yeah, check that out. It's on the blog, and I guess this is the next piece that we'll talk about.
Well, before we jump there, just wanted to point out that James has been sort of updating and hacking and trying different extruders all along. That's one of the benefits of using an open source tool, and one of the reasons that we stand behind the TAS here.
That's right.
So let's talk about plastics. I mean, one of the things that I love about this project is a lot of these things that we're looking at there are only possible because of the plastic experiments.
That's right. So some cool updates from Tallman 3D. Pedro, do you want to tell us about this one?
Yeah, so they're releasing a new filament. It's called PCTPE, which is a flexible nylon. And we're very excited to try this. It looks like one of the main features of this is that you're able to bend this along the extrusion, like sort of where the layers bond without it falling apart. And
it looks a bit different from NinjaFlex in that it doesn't look like it's elastic, but we'll test that out and see. It seems like it's more flexible than elastic. But let's take a look at some examples. Here's a bowl for play.
When we were talking about plastics and how they work, a TPE has some of the properties of both plastic and rubber. And in this case, there is polycarbonate in there. So it gives it a very different feel. So their purpose of doing this is it makes it a little bit easier to print, a little bit more rigid. Mm-hmm. So they thought it'd be great for those kind of like soft shell but still pretty hard surface cosplay projects.
Yeah, also useful stuff they're testing, I guess, an iPhone or some sort of cell phone case, and that is a really good test, right? Like you get a lot of wear and tear from these. And then there's, of course, wearable stuff. So yeah, we got ourselves a spool, and we'll be testing it in the coming months.
Very awesome feature characteristic of this is also you're able to dye it any color.
Oh yeah.
So it comes in white, and we can just use what is the right.
Some gold here. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to hearing about how the printing is different, like if it needs less guidance, so you can maybe have better luck with Bowden extruders.
Actually, they are saying,
buckling?
yeah, there's you can use it with regular extruders, so Bowden and direct drive should be all good. You don't need any filament guides.
Polycarbonate in there, the PC.
Yeah, definitely. So no bowing or anything like that. Should be good.
Cool.
Great. And now here's a project from the Adafruit community. Really neat project using our L-wire. So Melissa Ng made these series of really interesting masks and wove L-wire behind them in ways that produces really interesting shadow and light patterns, depending on the density of the material. Really beautiful project, and thanks for giving us the shout out that you got your L-wire here. So you can check that out.
Very cool.
Another fashion-related project, though maybe not on the exterior, is this project using different types of plastics and combinations of plastics. In particular, this Filaflex, which is another one of the soft elastic materials that's available for FFF-style printers. And these folks have been having a lot of luck and have tried a couple of different projects, including one where they scan the feet and make insoles that are like absolute precise matches. So it's a pretty neat project.
Interesting techniques in there, and using variable infill densities to control the softness and stiffness in the parts that they scan for the feet.
Exactly. And it's sort of surprising that there isn't more experiments happening with that. In fabrication, like at the industrial level, there's often a kind of changing of density of layers and thicknesses of layers to accomplish this kind of thing, but with different materials. And so this is now starting to penetrate into tools accessible to desktop, which is nice.
This one's a fun one.
Yeah, this is just really cute.
Mario.
So this was a school project, and she made this Arduino-driven piranha plant from Mario, and it actually launches little soft BBs.
Oh, nice.
So, and she made a point that it needs to be red because they're fruit. Really neat project. I mean, I think I believe this might have been a team project. I don't know as much about the makers as I'd like to, so I'm looking forward to hearing more about it.
Very cool.
Here's a quick shout out to something we'll be talking about later. This is a project to make microtonal clarinets. Now, you can 3D print wind instruments, and people have had a lot of luck with that, making interesting replicas. Like there's a team at the University of Connecticut who are doing really neat work in basically making models of instruments too fragile to play.
Oh, wow.
So what's neat about this project is they intentionally made it so that it's already ready for certain tunings. So having access to a 3D printer makes it easier to achieve this kind of sound. The results are really neat, and we're going to talk about bagpipes later. So I had to share that. So we'll be talking about Donna Lindsay later in this section.
All right.
And so just one last thing to flash through, and then we'll jump right back into prototyping. This Space Weaver project, you should go check this out. This is a really neat project enabled by 3D printing. It's a custom weaving project. It's really gorgeous. And you can check out online, the gift guide today has engineering software, some really good electronics design tools, but also some 3D printing design, including some of our favorites like 123D Design, Fusion, Rhino, Sculptress. So check them out.
Very cool. Where can we find those?
You find them on the Adafruit blog.
That's right.
And you can then, and there are links to where you can obtain them. A lot of them are free, or there are trials, so you can go check them out.
Very cool.
So let's talk about what you've been up to printing.
Sure. So yeah, this is the prototyping segment. Pedro, did you want to show the Lulzbot giant print real quick?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, let me set that real quick. On the Lulzbot, we have printed a giant mask, and this mask is actually from Thingiverse. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick here. There it is. This is the design, and it is from, I suppose, a Japanese anime called Death Gun. So we wanted to test it out and see how it fared on the Lulzbot. So Pedro, you did an update again to the dually extruder.
Yeah, so we got the dually in, and when you get it in stock, it's a 3mm filament.
Get off the bed. Like, I want to see this thing. Like, we've been waiting all day. Come on.
All right, let's get this off. Yeah, so we did the 1.75 mod that we've written about before in a previous episode.
Okay,
you can
so you
get
have, like,
all
a
the
tab
files,
on
all
YouTube.
the parts that you're going to need on learn.adafruit.com. Just search for Taz. It's going to be a little bit more.
Can you
This
just
is really
pull
on
it
there.
off? You just like,
There we go.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Nice.
Yeah, so this guy printed with no support, and it looks great. Just a couple of minor cleanups here and there, but
Yeah.
if you want
And
to
are
print,
those hardware mounting posts in there?
I think those are just like, I think they call them discs,
the helper
like
discs. Yeah.
to minimize some of the support.
Yeah, so
and
these
using
just
a
snap
wrap.
right
So
off.
That's really cool. I think it's a smart way to design things is to use little helper discs, especially for those
Yeah.
walls.
Thin bottoms as
Yeah.
well.
Sometimes called mouse ears. Yeah, those are great.
Yeah, and then Matt, you wanted to share that you printed this week's project, which we have here as well.
So
Wow.
we've been going back and forth quite a bit with Cura, and last week I mentioned how you can essentially take advantage of that folder of third-party printer profiles and put your profile in there, so that you can bring in changes as you tune things, and you can send your changes to somebody else or set up on another system. So we've been going back and forth and trying out each other's slicing profiles, and so I printed two. This one was scaled down when we were kind of nervous that we wouldn't be able to print the full size of this on the Orion. But then, as Noe noticed, we could, the plate was big enough, so we raised the size, the diameter of the round build area to 180 millimeters.
Yeah.
And, so we've been comparing the results, and so some things I want to suggest. For one thing, you can take that folder, which is located inside the application. You can also do this exact same thing that I talked about for Cura, for the Cura engine. Whenever it's installed and other things like matter control, that kind of thing, somewhere in there will be the same place, same type of profile, a little .ini file that you can sort of overwrite. You can take that folder and make an alias and dump that somewhere so that you can always keep dumping in your latest version. Or you can use a symbolic link, which is what I did, so that the one that I'm currently versioning in GitHub for my Cura for Orion, I have it so I can just save it and delete the machine that's currently in Cura, bring in the other one. And I've been going through and printing a lot of the test probes from the 3D shootout at Make. And sort of at each stage, I don't have a good macro camera set up for you, but learning a little bit from every single print and trying some things and documenting notes and also like trying different people's profiles I find online and trying the one that Noe has been working on has been very productive. So yeah, and I now have this complete stuff. So this week's project, I get to watch and then go and grab stuff off the shelf and put it together. So.
Yeah, very cool. Do you want to jump right into this week's project then?
It'd be great.
Yeah. So real quick, this is this week's project. We printed it in red, very festive, right? This is from Ultimachine. We also carry Ultimachine filament, not exactly this color, but it is a nice color, right? So let's go ahead and just take a look at the video.
Hold it.
Yeah. So this is an HDMI monitor. It's a 5-inch display, and it has the driver integrated into the back of it. So that's really cool. It makes it really thin. So if you're looking for projects that need to be thin, this is a really great monitor. It also has these mounting tabs on the sides, so it has tabs so you can mount it to a surface. And it has HDMI right on there. You don't have to solder anything. It's plug and play. It uses micro USB to power it, so you can power it that way if you don't want to power it with a battery like we did. Here we are. We're printing it on the Orion. It takes about, oh gosh.
About 40 minutes.
Is it about 40 minutes? No way. It's about like an hour and 30 minutes. Just to be on the safe side, right? We printed it pretty slow, like around 40 millimeters a second. But we have a guide on the Adafruit Learning System that we encourage you to check out. It gives you all the steps to build it and print it. So we're using a camera holder, a battery holder that we carry in the shop. And Pedro, you kind of wanted a Canon one, so we got a Canon and a Sony one, I believe.
Yeah.
If you guys want any more, let us know. Maybe we'll get a Canon, Nikon one.
I actually believe we are getting a Nikon.
All right, great.
One of the test ones we had.
All right, we're going to get a Nikon one. So in order to get this thing powered though with the camera lithium batteries, you need to regulate the power. So we're using the UBIC little buck converter that we carry in the shop, and all you have to do is solder this to the wire that's in the camera battery.
Yes.
Right, Pedro? Correct me if I'm wrong. We also got a couple of slide switches that you can easily turn it off and on, right?
Also got a little dimming feature here to save on power. If you're out in the sun, you can sort of conserve power and make it more visible in the sunlight.
Yeah, it's really straightforward when you want to power it like that. So that's this week's project. Let's go ahead and I guess jump into the layer by layer.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah. Yeah, and this is so handy. This is going to be a gift for.
Awesome. Yeah, I think it'll be a great project for not just video production, but also maybe gaming.
Yeah, and you can definitely use it as a small little portable monitor.
Real quick, I've been using this to prototype on the Raspberry Pi. So I'm using this since it's like free. Like I don't have any wires attached to it. I can just plug in one cable to the Raspberry Pi and bam.
We got a ton of these batteries around, so
and we got the spot. I think I missed that spot, but we have a little spot in here for.
Yeah, so it's a 3/8 to a 1/4-20 converter for.
Yeah. Do you want to show that?
Standard. Yeah, standard tripods.
And you want to show
this little guy
as
here?
well.
Yeah.
Nice.
Here's a little guy that makes all of the tripod magic happen. You can get these. I think they're like $2 on Amazon
for a pack of them, I think.
Yeah.
And we have one in one of our kits, so I'm going to be able to go grab one.
Awesome.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you just use a flathead, screw that guy in, and it'll work in most any standard tripod head.
Zoom would cooperate with us.
Yeah, but the tolerances fit perfectly for the threads to nicely hold on there.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and jump into layer by layer and look at some of the features that hold everything together.
Sure. So 123D design. This is where you designed it, but you'll be happy to know in a new update you will be able to export it out as a step file. That's a big deal.
Yes.
As a step file, you can use SolidWorks, Rhino, just about any app that uses solid modeling can use our designs now. So
yay! So all of our free files that we've been releasing have not gone to waste. Everybody who uses much higher end packages can edit all of our files.
That's awesome.
One of the tools is Fusion 360.
That's right.
Which is really nice, particularly if you're a student or have an educational discount. You can get it for free still.
Oh, actually, yeah, I was going to say it's free.
And we have a couple of things built in, like T-splines, so you can actually go in and do some custom fixing work on existing designs. Real advantage.
I'm feeling we might have to switch. We're gonna have to step it up.
I mean, we were using it just we could release it for free, but yeah.
Right. So tell us about this, Pedro. Give us a tour on their parts.
Cool. So this is a tour of all of the included files. The original solids are all here, just in case you want to update. Use a bigger thread for a different tripod, or if we update the monitor, you want to use a bigger one for you. We have all the sizes and cylinders here that create the holes. Quick little tip on when we're prototyping this: we always cut a big old giant hole out of that to save on printing time when we're prototyping and trying to figure out how to fit all of the screws into the said PCB or whatever.
It's basically a little frame to prototype. Very cool.
Yeah, so we have the little 3/4 to the 1/4-20 screw converter there that you can edit. You can just click on the inside of the walls and either decrease or increase that.
Okay.
The file includes all of our widgets that we use for every project, like the slide switch.
Cool.
Here's the cutouts for the monitor. Again, so you can update and get in case you get a bigger one. The main thing we're going to focus on here is creating the mounting features on the corners that we're using to shut the lid together. So to start off, we're using like I think it's a 8.6 by 8.6 by 8.6 mil little cube there. I'm going to grab the adjacent corners and add a fillet on there so we can have it nicely rounded.
All right.
And just get to the video here. So we're going to use the projection feature to actually create the sketches that are going to sort of connect and loft between each other. So right off of this object, we're going to create the sketch, and we just click on the top face there to create it, and then we're just going to move this down.
So this is a good sort of method to make these standoffs, because if you were just to make the standoff as is and chamfer the bottom, you're going to lose some geometry there. So this is an absolute way to get a really good optimized standoff.
Okay, so to edit the pivot point, it's a little bit tricky, but if you click on the little button here, it's the modifier.
Yeah, that's what
shoot you over into the rotation.
There you go. Reorient.
Yeah, the reorient.
It's called. All right.
So what we want to do there is just rotate at negative 90 degrees, so it will line up all against the wall, the inside wall of the enclosure there. Just move this down and create a copy that is not rotated. So some of the problems that we ran into here is lofting between these two, and if you get that, it's definitely a problem of where
the order.
The orientation of where it is. So just move it either a little bit closer or a little further away from the original solid, and we'll just loft that together.
Yay.
And with the included cylinder that we have here is made for a number 440 Phillips screwdriver, which you can get anywhere.
And then if you have any access, you could always use the split solid feature to chop out some of the trim it, really.
Yeah, and then depending on the type of camcorder battery holder that you get, you can also update the little mounting holes for that. So I include all that there.
Okay.
The hole that is included in the back is so you could route all of the power cables through to the inside of the case.
Yeah, there's a hole behind the Camry battery.
Again, all the files are available on Thingiverse, 123 Gallery, and of course on learn.adafruit.com if you want to build yourself a personal battery-powered HDMI monitor for any type of use.
That's right, and if you print one out, please be sure to let us know on Thingiverse. There's a little, I made this. It really is nice to see when people use that and make our projects. So Matt, what do you think, man?
Yeah, it really is a useful project for anybody excited about film production and design, but I definitely need one of these in my bag after I deliver again.
Yeah. The camera, I'm sorry, not the camera, but the display itself is only $60, right? And DSLR monitors can go anywhere from like $100 or $600. So this is a really nice low entry one. It's got really
make it the color you want. Give it the mounting stuff you need for really unusual purposes, and you could try to do that. Like there was a project this week where some people were very excited about making, cup holders and beer glass holders for the shower. This was very important to them. Well, you could try to find some way to put like little sucker, window mounts for these, and that could be useful.
It's a wireless HDMI, even if your camera has like a little flip-out display, sometimes there's some positions where you're setting up a shot where you can't really flip that LCD around to get a better view of it. So this comes in handy. You can get one of those little shoe mount adapters, to really mount the hot shoe of your camera or tripod.
Okay.
All right, time for community.
Let's jump right into the community spotlight. So Donald Lindsay has this really neat project, and we had heard about it like over a year ago. Before he really got going, he did a crowdfunding project on Kickstarter. He's already delivering all his stuff. So I wanted to share this sort of update, the kind of things he's up to, and of course I have to play it. Now he apologizes for the audio recording quality of this version. It sounds pretty good to us, but he's quite the expert. So he's going to be sharing some very high resolution stuff in the future.
Awesome.
There he is, performing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to share his I have a slideshow with a bunch of things he's been up to. So here he is with one of the early projects. Now this wasn't printed on an FDM machine. It was printed, I think, on a nylon sintering machine.
Sure.
Here he is with another set of his pipes.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see if I can jump right into. There's some videos up that show how these things work mechanically, how the sizes of the different elements can determine, what part it adds to the chorus.
Oh wow!
It's pretty neat.
Is he using any like simulation software to sort of find out what the tone? Yeah, like airflow.
In this case, he's recreating an existing, well-known design. In fact, he has versions of it that are either designed to match wood or ivory. And so he has both files, and they have slightly different like sound qualities. But they're mechanical. In a certain sense, it's the materials are hard enough that he's able to produce the sounds he needs without doing that much analysis. But if you did do analysis, like the microtonal clarinet stuff earlier, you could tune these for anything you want. So here's one of the sets. This is another view of the set attached to the bladder. Here are all the pieces out from one of the early tests. And he has been setting it up so you can 3D print it on a desktop machine. And look, he's got an Orion there. I think that's his, printing one of the models. I'm going to do the same on mine.
Like his enclosure for printing an ABS, it looks like.
Now, these images, I'm just going to zip past them. But these show like how everything fits together. And those haven't gone out public yet. So we'll,
sneak peek.
I think these are still for the people who backed him. And then I believe he's going to share more of it later on his site. So that's, that's a chance to see what that, not only that you could make an instrument, but somebody who's such a talented player who has a big background in really getting his performance right on another set is able to sort of bring that expertise to the process of optimizing files so that everybody can participate. So I want to print some of these, I guess they're called cantors out, like the various different parts. Mm-hmm. And there's a bunch of folks at Adafruit who perform all kinds of instruments, and we'll see if we can get something going there. Yeah, and that's our community spotlight for the week.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah. Had you guys seen the bagpipe project before?
We haven't seen it before, no, but very cool to see it.
Yeah.
And, I'm always loving any musical related. Yeah, it's just really cool.
Well, it's neat. It's a project over in the UK that didn't get that much attention over here, but it's starting to now. And there are a lot of people who want to get exactly the right shape of things and do it on a budget and learn a little bit of the craft of how to make these because that benefits them as performers. Anyway, so that's the show for this week.
Actually, and, for the year, I think, right?
Yeah, next week. We're off the next week, guys. So
the next 2 weeks.
The next 2 weeks. So we encourage you to definitely check out some previous projects that we've made on the Adafruit Learning System, so you can check it out there. We'll also be always posting blogs, community projects and things like that on Google+. Of course, on the blog, you got 3D Thursday today. You can follow myself, Pedro, and Matt. We're on Twitter, Instagrams, everywhere. Woo! I need a break. All right.
While we're not going to be on camera the next 2 Thursdays, because those happen to be big holidays, we're still going to provide a lot of new, exciting stuff, including probably share some in-the-year wrap-up thoughts and excitement about next year. So check it out in the blog, and we'll see you January 8th, I believe, is the next Thursday, where I'll be here. So then we'll keep printing, and we'll be printing a lot of stuff.
See you guys.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching. Woohoo!